So there have been no shortage of opinions about the recent decision from Rolling Stone magazine to put alleged Boston Marathon bomber Jahar, to get this right, Tsarnaev on its cover. One of the most outspoken critics of that from the music world has been David Draiman. He is the lead singer of a band called Disturbed, also Device, and we are very, very fortunate to have him join us today on Revolt. Mr. Draiman, thank you again for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So I was hoping you could just explain your initial feelings when you saw the cover earlier this week.
Disgust, aberration, anger, resentment, shock. I think that the media has spent far too much time making these acts of evil and cowardice attractive to an entire generation of future maniacs who are looking to go out in a blast of martyrdom and infamy. I find the entire situation much akin to the actions of a pimp trying to whore something out for his own best interests. I find it completely disgusting and repugnant.
So to be clear, it was not, it's the mere fact that they put him on the cover, period. It wasn't the way that he was posed, or it wasn't the fact that he looked glamorous. Some had said like Jim Morrison, something like that. It's just the mere fact that they decided to take this story and put him on the cover.
It's a combination of everything. They were already putting him on the cover, number one. Number two, they picked the cutest goddamn picture they could find of the guy. They airbrushed the hell out of it. They made him look all pretty because he's got some sort of sick fan club of these little girls that follow him that are all about freeing Jahar, free Jahar. Why? Because he's cute, because you find him attractive, and somebody who's cute with tousled hair couldn't possibly have committed something like this? People are out of their goddamn minds. We're teaching people to go ahead and just idolize beauty and no matter what, that as long as if you have a pretty face, you can't possibly do anything wrong. And that's absolutely ridiculous and nonsensical. And it's blowing up in their face. You have, retail chain after retail chain. A domino effect has already been occurring of store after store, whether it's CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, Kmart, and the list keeps going on, of stores that and chains that simply have refused to carry this issue, and I hope that they refuse to carry the magazine in general.
Is this strong reaction based solely on the cover, or have you at this point read the article and still feel
I've read the article and I still feel that way. And you know something? Sometimes it's just crazy. You don't need to know how this guy came to be who he was. Everybody's their own person. Everybody's capable of making their own choices. Everybody is cognizant of their own choices. And the minute that you start blaming everything around you for why somebody loses their goddamn mind is the minute that everybody comes up with an excuse to be a maniac. I've had a very, very colorful life, so to speak. I've had my trials and tribulations. I've experienced betrayal and death and loss in ways that most people couldn't possibly imagine. It didn't turn me into a terrorist. And looking into what made this monster isn't going to stop future monsters from being made. What's going to stop future monsters from being made is not glamorizing them and giving them infamy and putting their face all over the press.
So you don't think there's any benefit here to having their story be told and as any sort of cautionary tale?
No, not in terms of, do we do an investigation? Yes. Should the government look into, certain factors and cell organizations that may foster and that may be a catalyst for this type of behavior? Absolutely.
Is it a logical first step, though, from Rolling Stone, who are doing this very much under the guise of they are not just a music magazine, but they are very much a news magazine that has explored the world of politics? People are pointing to the 1970 cover of Charles Manson, how they have done this sort of story before.
And you know what? Two wrongs don't make a right. Have some common sense. Have some decency. Have some taste. You for the longest period of time, getting the cover of Rolling Stone was a tremendous accomplishment for any pop culture icon. All right? This destroys it completely. If you can put this bastard on your page, who had no problem laying that backpack down in front of an area full of civilians that everybody saw him do, okay? It's pimping. At its purest level, they are pimping out this story, they are pimping out an idea, and they're creating a platform for a future generation of psychopaths to want to go out in a blaze of glory, to be able to be remembered for all time, to be able to be immortalized in that way. They're encouraging this behavior by glamorizing it. You remember the victims and the heroes and the first responders. You do not remember the murderer. You bury them as deep as you possibly can.
Mr. Draiman, thank you so much for taking the time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for your support, brother.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.